Nexus Group recently celebrated 5 years anniversary of operation in Rwanda, citing tremendous growth in the country's aviation industry. Now, the flight operations company seeks to support Rwanda's vision to become Africa's aviation hub. And of course, for more on that, Nexus Group Chairman Abdullah Al Sayed joins us for more. Thank you very much for getting time to speak to us.
Thank you, Michael.
All right. You spoke very deep on Rwanda's strategies there for the aviation industry, but mostly you touched base with the plan to become Africa's new aviation hub. How do you see this working out, and how long should we expect this to play out?
I believe with what you saw in Rwanda and the development in the last few years, and we discussed today about the President Paul Kagame Vision 2020,
right,
that go in line with having Rwanda and Kigali as the hub of aviation. There's so much development. When we came 5 years ago, and you look at it today, the amount of growth that Rwanda Air had, the Akagera Aviation, the ground handling, and the entire different businesses, sectors in the airport in Kigali, and hopefully now moving to the new airport, have been showing tremendous growth, not only from within Rwanda, but internationally to Rwanda. Because as we discussed today, the president had made the business so easy and enjoyable to do it over here, where you have investors encouraged to come and do the investments on this aviation sectors. I believe having Rwanda as a landlocked, aviation become a very key factor for its success. We had so much success stories in different industries within Rwanda,
right,
when it comes to the coffee, when it comes to different industries. And I believe now today with the aviation and with the concentration from the president having, 2 years ago we promised him that this will be the aviation hub of Africa, and he asked me at that time, what do you want to do 2 years later? We said we are going to be the hub of the aviation training in Africa.
But then how do you make that happen, Abdullah?
Okay, I think it's not only one hand. Okay,
right,
we have the resources, we have the technology. We are not going to duplicate or replicate what we had on outside countries. All what we are going to do is just work internally with the partner. We had great support from the Rwanda Civil Aviation Authority, right, guiding us and supervising us and taking us where we should achieve. The second thing, the partner, this is what made it successful. Rwanda Air, the ATL, all those partners have been very supportive because they want to grow, they want to increase. Rwanda Air today serve more than 62 routes, right, and I think we will be coming at 126 even almost after 2020, and the plan is there. All what they need today is pilots, engineer, flight, and this is how we came, in order for Rwanda Air to be successful, to expand, right, the neighboring countries, we have to concentrate on the training. We are working very hard in the last 1 year with the government, and finally, hopefully within 2 years, we will cut the ribbon of establishing the first state-of-the-art aviation academy in Africa that will not only serve the Rwandan business, and they go to the market, get qualified professional jobs, but also will help other nationals within the African continent to come over here, get the training, go back to their country.
Right. I have information that you've met privately twice with President Paul Kagame. Could you disclose some of the information to us? What are some of these few things that you've actually brought to the table, and what does it entail for the aviation industry in the country?
I think President Paul Kagame saw us how serious and committed we are, right, to Rwanda, okay? As a matter of fact, and I feel it like it's a second home, when I come here. So he always wanted, I believe, just within the talks to give me the guidelines, What do I want? I want automations, I want infrastructure, proper right infrastructure. Right. It's not about spending, being efficient, and I think this is where we reach. Rwanda Air, when we started it a few years ago, took it from basic systems to complete state-of-the-art automation, and as you saw in the video today, and their state-of-the-art flight operations center. Their efficiencies and their pilot utilization, their crew utilization have increased, right, because of the automation. The second thing is President Kagame has always focusing on one, right, thing, which is the quality. He said, I want you to focus on a quality training. I don't want only a training. Right. I want a quality training to be delivered to my people and to the neighboring countries and the countries that want to bring their students over to our academy.
Let me just jump into matters African Union here. We've seen very large conversations, of course, on the open skies here, and we still see not even half of the African countries have signed this particular agreement, but we keep on talking about, open skies, but we still have closed borders. So tell me, how realistic is this, and when do we, or maybe as you people that actually are in the aviation industry, how long do you see this is going to take to actualize?
I don't have the data. I'm sure you're better than me. If you look at the...
I don't think so.
You're CNBC. If you look at the youth of age that in Africa and the percentage of youth within Africa, it's huge, it's large. And today, with the social media, with the opening of the world, when African people traveling outside and people coming inside, they're seeing the changes in the world. You cannot continue doing things as the old way. And I think today, President Kagame and his government has built a role model. And I believe, and I know many times, that so many of countries that I visited in Africa, everyone says, how you guys can do this in Rwanda? I want to do this in Rwanda the same, to the highest level, He said, this is a successful role model and business model, why we don't implement it? I think the governments has to change in Africa. So going back to your question about the freedom, the agreements, all that stuff, opening the boundaries in terms of flying or air, that's going to happen. Because why? Because you need transport. It doesn't look nice when you are a rich country, an African rich country, and maybe a member on the prestigious international organizations like OPEC, like other countries, and you don't have an airline, Your people, today your most businesses as an African goes to Europe, goes to the Middle East, goes to Asia. I think African has to benefit from this economy. Right.
So maybe before I let you go.
So you guys, it's rely all in you, because today I think governments has an obligation, not only because of the economic side of the business, but I think as a national securities is to do this, to find jobs, good jobs and careers. You cannot do it while you are locked and you don't have a successful airline, and leaving somebody coming from outside, taking your business, your clients, your African, flying over there back to.
Currently, we're seeing Air Mauritius facing a tough time. South African Airlines, of course, at the same time facing a tough time. But when we come back to East Africa, Air Tanzania reviving, Air Uganda coming back a lot stronger. They just ordered a few planes and from Canada. But right now, as you see, some of the big airlines, at least 4 of them, are working to actually bring up an alliance, an African alliance. Do you see this particular industry in Africa being as, what's the word? Like, do you see actually it being as profitable as it should be, or something that needs to be done?
It is. I was in one country, and they told me that an economy class ticket from Paris to this country in Africa, back, an economy class at a 3,500 euro, I was shocked.
That's impossible. That's
exactly. And guess what? You call to book a seat, it's always fully booked of that for an airline. So is it profitable? Yes, it is profitable, but it has to be done smartly. I had so many discussions with so many government at the highest level in Africa. Most of them have been talking, saying, and this is a new trend, I didn't hear it 5 or 7 years ago. He says, listen, we don't want to be involved. We take a small minority shares to facilitate your existence, to help you, to give you the certification required, to give you the lands required in the airport, to provide you with the logistics. But you take majority, you run it, you do it, we want to make it happen, we want to make it successful.